Hello viewers, welcome to Health Profile. Today Dr. Jyoti Chabria is with us. Hi ma'am.
Hi Kritika.
How are you ma'am?
Great.
Ma'am, what are the signs and symptoms of vitamin deficiency B1, B12, B2?
See, really speaking, you cannot segregate a B1 or a B2 or a B3. It's a B complex group of vitamins, which cause various deficiencies. Like, for example, if your B group of vitamins are low, you tend to have, there's something called as angular stomatitis, where you have cracks at the corner of your mouth or ulceration in
Many
the mouth.
people will suffer with
Yes.
that.
So we normally supplement them with vitamin B. Okay. And there will be something called as scurvy and gingivitis, which is like bleeding gums and all of that. That is a B3 deficiency. So likewise, folic acid is pantothenic acid, and there's folic acid that is needed for pre-pregnancy. When you're planning a pregnancy, we give the patient folic acid. Why? Because to avoid neural tube defects in the baby that is going to come. So likewise, this entire B group of vitamins actually are a group of about 5-7 vitamins, B1, B2, B3, all of this. But in toto, I think on a regular basis, if one, and now the most recent one and the one that is being spoken about the most is B12.
Yes.
So B12 is methylcobalamin basically, which is B12 deficiency. We can cause a lot of joint pains, and it affects circulation, it affects the hair, skin, weight loss, weight gain, all of this.
Ma'am, what kind of foods are rich in vitamin A?
All the vegetables and fruits which are predominantly yellow or orange in color are rich in vitamin A. They are rich in beta carotenoids actually, and they are precursors of vitamin A. So fruits and vegetables like pumpkin or squash or mango, papaya, these are the vegetables, oranges. So the orange and yellow colored fruits and vegetables are basically rich in vitamin A, zucchini, things like that, yeah.
Ma'am, which foods are rich in B12?
B12.
Complete B family.
Yeah. The foods which are rich in B group of vitamins would be, all the fruits and vegetables have some amount of vitamins and minerals in them. And rice, grains, these are predominantly rich in B group of vitamins, like millets are rich. And then you have quinoa, you have godam rava, as you would say. All these are rich in B group of vitamins.
Ma'am, will nutritional deficiencies cause long-term problems?
See, it's like this. If you have a deficiency in some vitamin and you don't address it or you don't do the needful, it will just prolong. So, supposing if a D3 is at 14 at one point, okay, the normal D3 should be 30 to 100.
Okay.
But we get patients who are like 28, 30, whatever. But if supposing it's low and I do nothing about it, the 30 will become 14, 14 will become 10, 10 will become 4. Of course, the symptoms will become more severe.
Okay.
The pain that you had at 30 will be less than what you have at 4.
Okay.
So, they complain a lot of joint pains and they feel very, very tired, and they really are not able to eat sometimes correctly, and they develop acidity, lots of things. So, what I'm trying to say is that that's how it becomes long term. So, when you pick it up, is the time to address it.
Okay.
So, even if it's 4, it can still be corrected. Okay. But rather than waiting for it to become 4, if you've picked it up at 28, it's rather to pick up from there.
Yes.
And even if, like we see a lot of patients with like 30, 32, 35, you still need supplementation. I would rarely see a patient crossing 35 or 40 in D3 in today's times. Okay. So that's the reason I keep saying that everyone needs the supplementation.
Okay. Whatever they face, they'll never think this problem is because of vitamin deficiency.
Exactly. So now, of course, people are talking about D3, B12, which is spoken so randomly all over the place. It's, people are talking about it, doctors are talking about it, so people are getting aware. But really speaking, in the past, no one ever could think of a D3 or a B12. Exactly. It never even crossed anyone's mind that could it be a vitamin or a mineral deficiency.
Yes.
It was just taken for granted that it's all okay, so.
Okay. What are the best nutrient-dense foods?
Yeah. So, nutrient-dense fruits and vegetables would be, things like papaya, melons. They have a lot of antioxidants, lot of good vitamins and minerals in it. Even these little minerals you find a lot in fruits and vegetables. Okay. So, nutrient-dense food group, I would think, is something that I would say never use a fruit. Even I tell my patients, try to eat fruits in a culmination, like a fruit salad. Because every fruit will have its own strengths. Yes. So you get the best of all worlds when you make a medley. That's why we insist on salad. Because when you make salad, you don't use only one vegetable. You lose 2-3 vegetables. So when you use a mix of everything, you're getting the best of all worlds. So that's the trick, or that's the mantra for getting the best of all the. Then I would call that nutrient dense, because you got the best nutrients of everything. So that's what I would call nutrient dense, quite honestly.
Yeah, many people are there refuse to take fruits and all.
As I said, you might be thinking I'm, promoting Nutriline too much, but that's not the case. Why I feel so confident about this product is because I've really researched on it and put a lot of hard work into this product to make it a complete product. I've had a lot of children, especially nowadays, don't eat vegetables. I've had a lot of patients who've come to me helpless about their kids, not knowing what to do about their food, because no matter how tasty food they try to cook for them, the children just want to eat from outside. They eat vegetables only in Chinese, in the restaurants. They don't want to eat at home. So I kept thinking, you will not believe this, but 15 years ago in my career, I very casually and in a very fooling manner, I told one of these patients, you all just don't eat anything. One day will come, you all will eat food in a capsule. And little did I realize, 10 years, 15 years down the line, I believe me. But I have worked really hard on it. But the truth is that the blessings I get and the difference it's made to people, I mean, that really makes me feel good, because
How that is going to help, ma'am?
because it has basically it's only vegetables that they are eating, because these are made only out of vegetables.
Okay.
So if the children are not eating vegetable in palak form or carrot form or whatever, this is actually a combination of all of it. So that way they are basically eating carrot in another form or palak in an extract form, but they are eating palak. I wouldn't say, if you ask me, is it better to eat palak ka sabji or is it better to eat a capsule? I would 100% say eat palak ka sabji. I'm not going to say eat a capsule versus that.
Yes.
But if that is not happening, this is the choice you have. That's all. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Not at all, because once these have no preservatives, they have no molecules attached to it. It is purely vegetables, extracts which are put into a capsule. So there are absolutely no side effects. Yes, if people have any food allergies, then because this is only food based, then it's all mentioned on the label. Then you don't. I mean, I would not recommend them to have that. But like, for example, if a patient comes to me and says I'm allergic to spinach, I would know which product not to give them, because it's made with my own hands in my product line. But if I were to recommend something else, I'm really not sure what goes on there. So at least in Nutriline, when Nutriline is concerned, I'm dead sure about the product and the quality and the effect.
What is the final note that you want to give to our viewers?
So to sum this up, I'd like to just tell you guys, all my friends and viewers, it's important to eat right. And by eating right, what do I mean? I mean by taking a balanced diet, which would be all the right nutrients in the right proportion: carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, water. It's also very important to take right amount of water, because I see a lot of patients today who are actually not having hardly any water, and that is causing a lot of problems for the hair and the skin, and they're not hydrating themselves well. So a good amount of I would say a balanced diet, adequate sleep, adequate exercise, and learning to deal with stress would be the mantra for a good, long and healthy life. Stay fit, stay healthy. God bless.
Doctor, what is the difference between the physiotherapy and chiropractic?
Okay, basically there
Because
are
actually they do the same.
okay.
We don't find any difference in it actually.
Yeah, basically different systems of medicines, their philosophies and their the way